So, welcome back to Twilight Trials. This is episode 3. It is September 30th. So, it's been a couple days since I've recorded, and I promised that I was gonna, be better about recording, but haha, joke's on you, I'm an idiot. I've had a much better time on this one than I have on the first one, but much better on than the second one. Because this one, it went back to the roots, okay? It was back to being about good old action. Nothing about it was like too romance kind of ordeal. It was less, heck you, I'm gonna kill you if you don't give me my girlfriend. But this one, it was like, hey, I understand that you're a girlfriend, and, you're gonna choose me. So, frick Edward and frick everything, just choose me. Which kind of got boring after a while, because if I was in Jacob's position, I would just say, you're not worth it. I don't want to die. So this one was a lot more enjoyable than the first two, and also actually made me like it a lot more. The main question that I really had was, why in the world are the new ones newly made vampires supposed to be stronger than the old ones simply because they're newer? I'm gonna guess that they're trying to go off of the scorpion paradox, in which the smaller ones are actually deadlier than the bigger ones simply because they can't control their venom. But they're not using venom. They're just using strunk. They're not doing anything with specialties. They're just being raw power. So it makes no sense why they would be trying to do babies versus adults and have the babies even have a chance. But yeah, that's it for this part of the video, so stay tuned. Alright, so the date is October 3rd. I should add that, just to be clear. Bye. Alright, so ending of episode 3 of the Twilight Trials. I did my notebook strategy again, because this one actually had plot, unlike the second one. So let's just get into it. So let's start off with the good. This movie actually answered questions instead of make more, because both the first and second went in a way like it was one step forward, 3 steps back, and this one actually sounded like the opposite. Actually, let's break it down. More like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. That's a little bit better. I forgot to say this in the last 2 episodes, but I forgot to say exactly who's my favorite character. And it's absolutely the dad, the chief, the boyo, the main man, Mr. Coolio. He's honestly the best. He's the funniest character, played by a great actor, who also makes actual scenes thorough, and not just like a random romance movie. It's like, hey, this actually has some goodness to it. Another thing that was good is how they forced Edward and Jake to be friends, or at least closer than enemies. Especially the tent scene when Edward is too cold to keep Bella safe in the cold, and so Jake is like, I'm hot. Yeah, I just like that dynamic. It was fun. It was genuinely fun to watch. Unlike the second one. The second one sucked. I didn't like it. I genuinely didn't like it. Alright. Moving up the spectrum. I guess with both good and bad, I didn't have much to say about either one and the other. It was mostly one or the other. Bella is completely useless. Much like just the beginning of this entire series, she's just been useless. She relies on Edward too much, or if Edward's gone, then she just dies. Bella's mom, the character it's not fleshed out a lot. And I guess that's just because she doesn't get a lot of screen time, mostly because I'm gonna guess the book didn't give the mom very much. What would be the book version of a movie screen time? Is page time? New word, I guess. I don't care. So I was moving right back into this last part of the spectrum is the bad. Okay, this kind of just is mostly why I've realized. In the beginning of the movie, the wolves and the vamps, they both have a common enemy, yet they never team up until the end of the movie, in which that's just because of plot. But why don't they team up earlier? I mean, the treaty that of course they have is supposed to be like, oh, you don't make any more vampires, we won't kill you. But why don't they just be like, hey, you wanna have a little kissing session, a bromance moment, out by the back in behind the bleachers, just have that little with Jacob and Edward. Honestly, freight. Bella's way too heavy-handed. She doesn't deserve any of them. She genuinely doesn't. Yes, I'm making you stay like that for about 5 seconds. Screw you. Along with that, not the bromance, just along with the vampires and wolves, I'm trying to get back on track. So, again in the first scene, they're chasing this common enemy, which is a vampire girl. So they're chasing her. But the second that one of the Cullens try and jump into the Wolven territory, all hell breaks loose, and they're like, oh, let's stop chasing this enemy, and let's go fight the Cullens. Or at least force them to stay off our territory. Why did they do that instead of actually doing what they were supposed to do? It makes no sense. The whole entire movie plot could have been ended in literally 3 seconds if they had just done what they were supposed to do. Gang, gang. And then finally, well, not finally, but why did the second in command boy, why did he take a year to set up when it's obvious that his army could have been rassled up in like 2 seconds? I don't understand. He could have even gotten the dad, which I would have been really sad about because the dad's my favorite character. Favorite character is the best. I love his mustache. Mustache for life. Now, less of like a critique and more of a, I don't know what to call it. Just a kind of socially acceptable norm that the movie could have adapted into if it wasn't based on a book. Jacob, he does so much for Bella, but he's like the simp. He's a fedora wearing, weed smoking, does nothing in his life only to be sacrificed to the e-girl's wealth. Genuinely, he doesn't. He could have just stopped. He could have stopped. Alright, I guess that's it. See ya.